file. Scammers may be out there working even faster to steal your identity and take your refund. But there's help. Consumer investigator Kimberly Souters is live in our newsroom with more. Kimberly.
Leon, things are really buzzing down here, and people are complaining to the FTC about their Social Security numbers being stolen and taxes being fraudulently filed in record numbers, more than 100,000 complaints in 2014 alone. 100,000 Reasons, an FTC commissioner, focused the past 5 days talking about Tax ID Theft Awareness Week. All right, coming up, you will hear from the FTC commissioner about what they're doing to protect the consumer. Also tonight, 7 on Your Side is hosting an Ask the Tax Expert phone bank. Our experts come from the FTC, they come from the National Consumers League, and also the Virginia Society of CPAs, not only for your general tax questions, but also for specific questions if you think you've been targeted by a tax fraud. We'll see you back here a little bit later in about 20 minutes from now. Leon, back to you in the studio.
All right, Kimberly, we'll see you in just a bit. Now, a tax refund. I'm
consumer investigator Kimberly Souters in the 7 on Your Side Help Center. We have an Ask the Tax Expert phone bank. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but it is a great group of folks here, whether you have questions about identity theft, especially if someone steals your Social Security number to file taxes fraudulently, or you've been contacted by an IRS imposter. We have experts here to guide you. In the corner there from the National Consumers League, John Breo, he says tax fraud is in the top 10 of scams they hear from. We have an army of CPAs here to answer your general tax questions as well. So here is the number to call. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we're going to open up the lines, and you can ask the tax expert your personal question. The number is 703-236-9220. That's 703-236-9220. They will all be here until 6:30 to answer your questions. Back to you in the studio.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you. We'll do something now a little more fun.
The 7 on Your Side Help Center is live tonight, giving you a chance to ask the tax experts. Just dial 703-236-9220 to reach the experts there on the phones. We'll check in and see how things are going there as ABC7 News at 5 continues.
Thank you, Doug.
Right. Okay. All right, now, folks, you got 10 weeks to get your taxes ready, and that may seem like a long time, but you got to keep in mind that's also 10 weeks that the scammers out there have to steal your Social Security number and snag your return.
That's right. Consumer investigator Kimberly Souters live in our Help Center with an Ask the Tax Expert phone bank. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Allison. These experts are very busy. People have a lot of general tax questions, but also specifically about fraud. Let's give you the phone number to call if you fall into one of those categories. The number you want to call, 703-236-9220. The 7 on Your Side phone bank is open until 6:30 tonight. Our team will try to get to as many calls as we can. For those general questions about filing your taxes, we have the Virginia Society of Public CPAs, but also for specific questions, if you've been targeted by an IRS imposter, or you think someone might have stolen and abused your Social Security number, our experts can guide you to resources. They can tell you how to report a tax-related scam and how to protect yourself. Something else they want you to do is they want you, if you have one of these tax fraud experiences or a IRS imposter contacts you, they want you to share that information. Share it on Facebook, share it with your friends, tell them what happened to you, warn people against that. More than 400,000 people have been affected by the tax imposter scam and also by their Social Security numbers being stolen and then their taxes being filed fraudulently. If you have any questions about that, we have some of the country's best experts right here in the 7 on Your Side Help Center. Go ahead and give us a call. Leon, Allison, back to you in the studio.
All right, Kimberly, we'll check back with you. Now, earlier we told you about a Maryland woman's battle with Howard County after a fire truck sideswiped her car. And the 7 on Your Side Help Center is live tonight, giving you a chance to ask the tax experts for help. Dial 703-236-9220 to reach them. We'll check in there as ABC7 News at 5 continues.
I turned to my wife and suddenly
Social Security number been stolen, or do you have a general tax question? 7 is on Your Side with an Ask the Tax Expert phone bank coming up.
Number 1 complaint from consumers to the Federal Trade Commission, stealing your identity and then your tax return. Consumer investigator Kimberly Souters is here tonight to help with an Ask the Tax Expert phone bank at the 7 on Your Side Help Center. Kimberly.
Leanne, I'm really excited about this one because when people call, they're saying, do you have a general tax question or a question about tax fraud? We have experts from both sides here. You can see here, this is one of our CPAs who's helping out a caller right now. This is the number to call, 703-236-9220. Now, identity theft, it's a nationwide problem. Look at these numbers. According to the FTC, in 2014, 330,000 Americans were victims of identity theft. Of those, 30% were defrauded on their taxes. 11% saw unauthorized credit card frauds in their names, and then 8% were hurt financially by a utility fraud. So what to look for in these 10 weeks leading up to tax filing time?
If the IRS says that you have already filed a tax return, or if the IRS says your tax return is incomplete, then there's a possibility that someone has used your identity with the IRS.
7 on Your Side's experts are here to direct you to resources for reporting fraud, but also to help you protect yourself. They're taking your calls until about 6:30 tonight. And go ahead. I know they're up and down because she has experience with the FTC and tax fraud. He has experience as a CPA, and so they're passing callers off to one or the other depending on what their expertise is. So be patient if you haven't been able to get through. Your calls will be taken until 6:30 tonight. You can always email us if you don't reach us on the phone at tips@wjla.com. Now, from the Help Center, the 7 on Your Side Help Center, I'm going to send it back to you up in the studio. Leon?
All right, you got it, Kimberly. Tonight we're meeting the locals.
If you are worried about protecting your Social Security number, have you been contacted by an IRS imposter, or do you have a general tax question? Our 7 on Your Side Ask a Tax Expert phone bank is open. We'll tell you the number to call coming up next.
Little-known dangers of pure cap.
It's a terrible thing to have your Social Security number and identity stolen, but things could get even worse when scammers manage to get your tax return, too. Tonight, 7 is on your side with a chance for you to call in and talk to a tax expert about your issues. Consumer investigator Kimberly Suiters is live in our Help Center to explain. Kimberly?
Maureen, the phones have been ringing off the hook all night. We will be here until 6:30 answering your calls, whether it's about general tax questions or about tax fraud questions. I want to bring in Stephen Toperoff. He is an FTC attorney and expert in this area because, Stephen, more than 300,000 Americans have been contacted by an IRS imposter. What are we supposed to do in tax season about them?
Okay. IRS imposter scams call consumers out of the blue and basically say they owe taxes or a penalty. If you get a call like that, hang up. Do not engage with these people because the IRS simply doesn't do business that way.
They won't call you at home. They'll send you a letter.
Yeah, the way the IRS typically works is they'll send you a letter to document whatever it is the issue may be. But they're not going to send you an email out of the blue and ask for payment or ask you for your credit card or to do a wire transfer. Hang up. It's a fraud.
And what about the other fraud, the tax ID fraud that 100,000 people have complained to the FTC about?
Yeah, around this time of year, people are starting to think about their taxes. And for the last 5 years or so, tax identity theft has been the largest category of identity theft reported to the Federal Trade Commission. And consumers have a few things that they can do. First, if you can, file early. That is probably the best step that you can take to beat the scam artists to your refund. Also, if you're going to file electronically, make sure it's a secure, encrypted connection. And if you're going to file by mail, be safe and go to the post office and deliver it to the post office directly.
And you can also go to identitytheft.gov, which is the FTC site. It has much more information there for you. Phone banks are open just for about 11 more minutes, so get those last calls in. Back to you in the studio, Maureen.
Thanks so much, Kimberly.